Hi everybody, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining the workshop session today. I'm Catherine, I'm the Chief Growth Officer at Quo. We're a brand strategy agency working on hospitality and tourism branding here in the Kingdom as well as regionally and across Asia Pacific. I'm here with my colleague Paul Keane, and today we're going to be delving deep into the world of what we call at Quo the Village. So the Village is a branding methodology that we've been working on at Quo over the last 6 months or so, and it's a way of looking at branding through a cultural lens. It's about looking at your brand as if it were literally a physical village. So I'm going to take you through what that means, and then we're going to do a short interactive exercise where you're going to build brands yourself. I'm going to give you scenarios. And we're actually going to start to build a cultural ecosystem for these imaginary brands that we've mapped out for you. So if everyone is ready, we're going to get started. So at Quo, when we think about branding, we often imagine a village. When I imagine a village, I imagine one in the foothills of the Himalayas. So if you imagine that village and close your eyes and just really think about what that village could be. In my mind, I see a village that is, it's in a forest, there's a big wall around it, and that wall is made of stone or a certain type of brick. And you enter the village, and inside the village, the houses are of a certain type of architecture. Maybe they have thatched roofs, or they're made of stone. The people are dressed in a certain way. They have a customary dress that they wear. They speak a certain language, maybe even a certain dialect of that language. They eat a certain type of food. They greet you in a certain way. They behave in a certain manner. And all the different elements of that village are unique to the village because of one thing, because of its culture. And that culture is unique to that village, and it impacts everything about the way that village lives and breathes and undertakes its daily lives. So we believe that, much like villages, brands too can be imagined as cultural ecosystems. And at the core of those ecosystems is culture. So what do we mean by culture? Culture is it's a shared set of beliefs. It's a common value system. It's about traditions and behaviors, common practices and rituals. And we believe it's a powerful way to codify branding. We believe if you think about brands as cultures, we have something really strong to build our organizations on. Because when you build that really core, well-defined core, the DNA of your brand, the essence, the purpose, why you exist, it makes it much easier then to translate that into a living, breathing cultural ecosystem, to activate the brand across different touch points of your experience. And what is that experience? We imagine the experience of a brand as broken down into 6 core dimensions. So the way we formed these dimensions was to look at culture as an anthropological inquiry and say, if you look at a culture, what defines a culture? What are those, if you could put it into buckets, into pillars, what are those key elements that makes a culture, and how can we translate those into the realm of brands? And we've identified these 6 core areas that we believe you can map from a culture, from a village, and apply them equally to branding. We have symbols and artifacts, behaviors and experiences, environments, language, community, governance, and management. I'm going to run through those one by one and just give you a few quick examples of what we mean. So symbols and artifacts, these are those tangible elements, those visual parts of your brand that tell your audience who you are before even a word is spoken. If you look at the Aman logo, for example, it's very sophisticated, it's very simple, but in that very simple yet beautiful typeface, you already get a sense of what the brand is about, that kind of quiet luxury that we know Aman is all about, and you feel it in that typography, in the muted color palettes that it uses. Behaviors and experiences, this is about the daily practices, it's about the guest journey, it's about the service culture of your brand. 6 Senses is a great example. At the core of the 6 Senses brand is wellness and sustainability, and you see this at every touch point of the guest journey. the way they integrate CSR into different elements, the way they send guests a wellness questionnaire long before they arrive. All of that DNA of the brand comes to life as the guest experiences pre, during, and post-arrival. Environments, these are the spaces. This is your interior design, your architecture, your digital experiences, your digital environments. Citizen M, a brand that's been in the headlines recently because Marriott just bought it, is a brand that was designed for the mobile citizen. And you feel that in its designers and experiences, whether it's the modular construction, whether it's the smart room control, the local touches that ground the hotel in each location. It's designed to be super efficient, super easy to implement without any barriers to entry, and to keep guests moving, to keep them moving and checking in easily and have no barriers in terms of that operational experience. Language and communications. I think we all know the power of words and the power of communications to really talk to our audience and communicate who we are. W Hotels, and yes, I know they're going for a rebrand, but W, as we knew them, have a very strong language, a very strong tone of voice. By that we mean the way they talk. So they relabel different parts of the hotel. The lobby is called the living room. The swimming pool is called wet. The service culture is called whatever, whenever. So they're using their own language and applying it to all these different parts of the guest journey so that you never forget you're at a W hotel. Community relationships. This is everything from how you communicate, how you market your brand, how you build loyalty and advocacy. It's how you build community both inside and outside to the wider audience. Zoku, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this brand, but it's a co-living space, a number of properties now across Europe, where community is at the core of what they do. They have these very cool kind of loft-style rooms. Within the experience, they have networking dinners, different kind of rooftop events. They have not general managers, but community managers. So the whole thing is built around this ethos of bringing people together and forming connections. And finally, governance. So governance is how the brand is maintained, how we audit and manage our brand, how we track our brand, how we, the leadership roles in the brand, the hierarchies in the brand, but also things like ESG. So Melia, for example, is a great example where they have Travel for Good, a very prominent ESG strategy based on 4 pillars, and those 4 pillars are activated across different moments in the guest experience. So you can see that with these 6 dimensions, formed from a clearly defined core, we start to build a brand that is far more than simply a name or a logo. It becomes a fully living, breathing cultural ecosystem, an ecosystem that connects together, that you feel and you experience at every touch point, both internally and externally. Now it's your turn. So in our groups, I think we probably can form 3, maybe 4 groups. We've got 3 different scenarios. Okay, one is these are all imaginary scenarios, completely made up. For each scenario, I'm going to give you some basic insights, some market insights. So for example, scenario 1 is a luxury desert resort. Scenario 2 is a wellness resort in the Red Sea. Scenario 3 is an urban lifestyle hotel in Jeddah. For each one, I'm giving you a brief background, your target audience, a few kind of trends and consumer insights. And what I want you to do is, in your group, discuss the information provided for each of the 3, whichever one you're given. And then I'm going to give you a sheet. And I want you to consider what is the core of this brand. It can just be some keywords. So think about the personality or the values, or just some words that you feel kind of articulate what that brand's DNA is, what it stands for. And then how is it going to come to life across these 6 dimensions. So we're effectively building an ecosystem for these imaginary brands in order for you to help to see how brands really can come to life in using this framework. So I think Paul and I are going to walk around the room. We'll hand out a scenario. You can choose from one of the 3 which one you prefer to work on. And we'll probably give you about 10-15 minutes just to discuss amongst your groups. And then I'd like someone to nominate and present back your ideas and your thinking. Okay. Just give them.
choose one.
Giving each other. Is that okay?
Exactly. Dude, I would not do that. Just, to stretch your creativity.
Can you give me?
So you can do any of the three, so please choose one.
I'm going to flick back
Here,
to...
are them a little bit closer, but we're going to keep them up on the screen.
Just going to keep this up here as a reminder so you're clear on what you're brainstorming around.
And yeah, does someone want to meet me? You know me as the scribe, person to the right.
I'll scribe up.
Okay, perfect. There you go. I'd start off with the core. So what do you really want this brand to mean, to stand for?
Which one would you like? Oh!
Define it. So have you decided a luxury desert resort in Saudi Arabia? There's the Red Sea, and then there's the wellness resort in the Red Sea. And the last one is... Yes.
Would you like to join? You're just watching?
Which one are we going to do? Sorry, what's the third one? Desert, wellness.
Here. An urban lifestyle hotel in Jeddah.
We've got 2 Jeddah already, so if you can choose a different one.
Desert or wellness. What is the final one?
We just want to see the way that you can try and create the brand in the next 10-12 minutes, and the way that you would define it using each of these categories. So, how do you see those tangible elements, behaviors, and experiences in each of the 6 categories that Catherine just went through? But maybe try and define the core first and let it bleed.
Which one did she say not to do?
Jeddah, the urban lifestyle hotel, just because we already have 2.
Any marketeers? Corporate communications, I don't, not quite. Which one are we going to do? The luxury desert?
All good?
Don't base it on something you know. Like, imagine you're a brand team, you're given this brief, some time off, and be as innovative out there as you want. The idea is to really form this link that allows you to activate it in a really
Should we just do your brand?
Have you chosen your scenario?
Wellness.
Wellness? Okay, perfect. Yeah, so if you want to. If you need another copy, it's the same. Just to have it.
You suggested the core. I guess these are very cute.
Do we have a big quantity?
What's the core?
One core? Just to focus on, and then just like...
Okay, so from our side, what we did.
So talent is like all the things.
So it's about allowing encouraging different entry forms into the link rather than just kind of tailoring for one particular. I'm not talking just financially, talking about different health inserts as well. So not everybody has the same insight into wellness. Wellness just means something different to everyone. So talking about functional wellness is different.
What's the difference between functional and
Functional wellness is more activity. So we do a lot of wellness activities
Before that, we identify what's the character in that space, so what is the like.
So function is more about the visual being taught, and the methodistic is more subtle.
So are we supposed to go section by section here and write down things, or?
I think the book comes, to me the book comes at the end.
Yeah.
Summarize it.
Should we do the other elements?
Yeah.
Do you have any ideas on any of the elements?
Are you all clear? Any questions? Any help? Okay.
Yeah, the symbols are
But with a modern yes, so I think the area that you can show would be on the
like with there's a story.
So we've only got
Reflected into your
You know, so if when it comes to sun and that's what I'm
So just to give a backstory,
So
it's still like
beach
people
from
gather in that specific area to trade, communicate,
in effect, you're not going to necessarily find results if you're looking at, let's see, you know, you're looking at what you might like to look at, every colours,
so it's the same idea with the village. So what it's known as used to be trade center before Saudi, stuff for the, let's say, Sudan, Egypt, or Yemen, trade for the trade.
But I think, yeah, and I think, you know, just
Spicy,
some of the
salt,
talks about, you know, stuff from yesterday, you know, how do you connect it back to the cultural part as well? There's got to be, you know, if you're talking about the legacy, don't say it's just a one, like, what does that bring? What does that environment bring? From the culture, from the traditions as well, so it should be something reflecting. The design should be reflecting the culture as well.
So you would have one that's inspired by sea trade, fishermen, whatever.
We don't sound
It's designed in the sea.
that would sound
Maybe we can get one that's got sea views.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Because it's near to the sea. Yeah, it's near to the port.
Yeah. So
It comes in both, yeah, because even when you're
Let's say bright colors, and then with the ones with the browny colors.
Yes, and the environment concept.
But should we pick one and focus on, or is multiple?
yeah, that has something lovely like that that would reflect and have two different meanings. Something monotone, so something.
Is it? But which one should we pick?
So there's surrounding environment.
Canvas, that's really functional wellness.
You can be active.
Could be both, right?
Yeah.
It could be like calm or active and calm, so you can contrast experience and reflection.
Yeah, have specific
You wanna
areas
go one by
where
one?
you can go and have what one doesn't necessarily mean logos.
In that specific area, they have.
And then, you know, for us, like daily practical experiences, like whether it's the staff or whether it's the guests, there's daily workshops, there's daily activities, like the staff will do their own wellness activities. Our teams and the monetary properties are encouraged to join us. Not like, you know, join us, so the guests can see that it's part of everyone's routine. So that kind of brings
No, I'm not good at drawing, but I can show you.
education.
About like a journaling space or something like that, because it's so self-care.
Yeah.
space to go and write poetry, journal.
So what are we saying?
Physical and sensory. It's funny, like a lot of it kind of fits into many
We have a silent room, so we have a space that is purely
This is
indoor in nature that's meant to solve its silence.
like so reflection. Yeah, only if you just like
No, don't say
Yeah.
No. So it would just be like a low.
Helps to like listen to bird song or listen to raindrops or whatever it might be.
I guess you can set it to reflect the sands, the land, whether it had mountains or hills or whatever, on the sea. Like a mirrored image.
You can do both.
You wanna less
You can
stuff
have
and
the
then
grounding.
go
Yeah,
from later to the day.
They can do
I will just mention gate because we just have the same
floating as
idea.
well, so you get those different
Like
sets of
ideas and
experiences. Yeah. And then, like with the environments, it's all about setting up those aesthetic environments so that Instagram, everything's got to be like, people want to click that picture.
For Gen Z.
So that's how you communicate the brand's message.
Do you want to see
Oh yeah, that's good.
Well, it's from the other side. It's from the other side. It's like the
That's a good point. It's to give you access to something. So
We have about
it's not
5
like
minutes. Yeah.
just give you
It's more
access.
about like how you would write your text.
About 5 minutes. Yeah. Just if it's not done, don't
So
worry.
for this part, it's fine. It's gate good.
So more about like, is it more of a modern approach to how you write, or is it?
Oh, go well.
Fonts.
It's the fonts, but it's also the tone of voice. It's about like how you put your words together. Like, are you saying hello? Are you saying good morning? Are you saying like are you greeting things? Like it's all those different things. But what is that? How you want to define it?
Yeah, all this seems very sort of goal oriented. Is there something about like challenging the voice, trying to invite people to engage more actively? Because if they're looking at longevity, eco, and self-care, there's a certain mindset needed for that.
So they influence the whole concept of like the player.
You gotta meet the experience.
Not challenge to do what, to work? Or?
Encouraging, empowering, maybe. Activating. Maybe that's different than other places. It's almost pushy for stuff.
For this part, I know just
I mean, for us, it's other like song
people will go, especially in the because you can use this whole.
Yeah.
So let's say I have a family, she's good. We will go out and we will make like temporary booth to sell stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like coaching,
Chips,
goal oriented. Like you're
So whether it's
chips, sticky, whatever it's called, drinks,
social media, whether it's the TV, synergy.
You wanna, so in that detail, maybe we can influence these practices by in temporary.
You can have like a food court there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have a food court. There's a place in Georgia, so just like that. It's like a modern hotel. You go outside in the yard. It's all like a food court type station. Yeah.
CSR as well as working in local communities, bringing wildlife to the local.
So let's
The
say.
lobby could be open.
And again, what we found is the Maldives is
Yes.
during the cultural politics out
Maybe
there.
the
Realize it's still cultural sensitive, so we don't like people to
yes, it's just like
as
a
much as you
form
want
of
to
somebody
there's still a lot of sensitivity, so there needs to be some cultural sensitivity.
yeah, and
There's good structure
booth
movement,
wherever they
basically
are,
yoga.
could be like
We
that.
sang the local schools, it's yoga.
Something like that.
And also, if you don't want the actual hotel, let's say the bar. The style of it is like
So you did that be anything with your meditation.
style of it is the same. Just to give the same vibes. Just to
So it's all that cultural sensitivity when you work.
what do you think?
Yeah, maybe like a
Shows that
spice
respect.
shop.
Spice, yeah.
Sorry?
You can have food.
No, that's what Rome is. That's our goal this year.
Snacks. You know?
About just making sure all the voices are right.
Design this out. And then
Making it
As much as if you've got gaps, it's okay.
Get it rooted.
It's okay. It's okay.
Perspective.
As long as you've got an idea.
Are you guys doing it?
spices.
Are you proud of your work? Are you ready to share?
It's like a made once in a small.
Just needs a little. Okay.
Yeah.
Fish.
Hey, spices coffee,
Yeah. But actually, you can't have a
But I feel like let's feel like they
That one's a
are
little tricky. Yeah, it's quite dry.
I think this has to be
I see what you're saying. It's just that's the thing.
We can have a
vision has to always be in line with the
But at the same time,
so
let's say
not
in the breakfast
like
you
run
have
latest trends.
you can have
so yeah, it's more
Still
nice.
related to going into wellness holistic and then all of a sudden bringing in the medical side that's what fits in.
I know, a lot of places. So I've been to everywhere.
But at the same time, I think like adaptable is important, right? Like the way that
If it fits in,
Because we have our colleagues who are like, so on 5 to 5:30, there is someone waiting after the first. Yeah.
On a quiet, those days are good. A lot of guests are
Local, calm, reductive, nature, reflection.
Do you want to speak? No, because you have so much to do. Do you know, like,
I know.
yeah.
I'm not from Jeddah.
Yeah, we have a lot of kind of
Now we're visualizing that it's like a cultural, inclusive one.
translate
We did finish it.
yes. But I'm not sure what happened with Project Wars or I
in
don't
the
know.
rooms, they shouldn't be big.
Yeah, I've already covered community and relationship.
But it was pretty brand.
Tranquility,
Yeah. We've done a lot of
But also, in terms of the community, you don't want like normal tables.
No. This is my card. Yeah. Very nice to meet you.
It's like almost like a hospital.
Yes. So just set up the registration. We're based in Bangkok.
And preventative
Head office is in
rather
Bangkok.
than
We have an office in London and soon in Riyadh.
The reason I heard about it was because of your talk. I was going through all the videos.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really, yeah. So you always have a like
Immersion, like self and nature.
We can business center. So Gen Z.
That's what I figured out because my brother's not there. It's amazing.
Connect with
I just thought of it.
Since you're the one to walk everyone through it, yeah. This is your profession. We're cheating.
Okay, I think we should probably get it.
we're ready to open our own sort of now.
And you can have like places for 5, 6, 7.
Okay, everyone, I think time is up. Do we have a table that wants to go first? Any volunteers? Or else I'm going to pick on someone. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Do you want to stand up and talk about? Start with the core. What was your inspiration? What's your brand all about? And then you can talk us through the dimensions.
Okay, so we put the core in at the end once we put all the other elements in.
That's smart. Yeah.
The core would be looking at the kind of local culture.
Sorry, can you tell us,
sorry.
remind us what scenario you're working
So
on?
the wellness resort in the Red Sea.
The wellness resort in the Red Sea,
Yeah.
perfect, okay.
So we're looking very much at the local culture, making it inclusive, reflective, calm versus active, thank you, motivating, longevity, the nature, and then helping people live and holiday better in a way that they choose.
Very nice.
So then, will you want to go through
Yeah,
that?
if you can,
Okay,
yeah.
so the symbols and artifacts. So when we're looking at the visual identities. Obviously, you're looking at the logo. We want to kind of look at the Pantone of the colours. So we're looking at the sand, the sea, the sky. So we're looking more at earthy colours that connects with the environment. Also looking at the environment we're in, connecting with the local culture.
Yeah.
So you must have that in there, you know, when you're looking at your logo, and maybe connecting it with like something almost bilingual, where it connects with wellness, but also connects with the Saudi culture
Okay,
as well.
very nice.
Like an Arabic font or something like that. Then the behaviour and experiences, we're looking at calm versus active, because wellness doesn't have to be silent. You know, there's
Yeah,
activity,
exactly.
and creating environments and spaces that allow people to have those contrasting moments and have dedicated areas, daily workshops and activities, where there's like, you know, beautiful self-reflection places, things like that, and then obviously more active places where people can elevate themselves as well. Then looking at the environments, we're looking at journaling spaces like reflective spots, you know, connecting with the nature. So depending on where, you know, if you've got, you know, the rocks and the sea around you, you've got all of that, then you can have it so that you're grounded on the earth, like in the sand. You can also float out in the ocean or float in the pool. So again, giving people different sensory experiences. And having like places where you can hear the bird songs and things like that. Then we're looking at language and communication. So obviously being kind of in this environment, you're looking at encouraging, empowering, motivating, coaching. You know, you're here to live on holiday better. So like go get it, like just, you know, very much encouraging people to enjoy. Oh, thank you. And then community and relationships. So obviously that brings in a lot of CSR, working with the local communities, and I suppose from our own experience, I come from a wellness background, so our own experience in the Maldives is it's very culturally sensitive still. So yoga can't just be put out there and your arms have to be Allahs and things like that. So looking at that cultural sensitivity so that you can adapt your wellness and be able to take it outside of the resort as well as keeping it inside as well. So you're able then to connect wellness for everybody. And then governance and management, so the strategic vision, excuse me, strategic vision with?
Core goals.
Oh, core goals, thank you. So, strategic, so core goals, like, you know, we're looking at long term, we want to be adaptable, but also keeping in line with the core values of the company. So not just jumping on every trend that comes in, but being able to stay into that, but then also to be adaptable, to be able to move forward, you know, based on how the industry is evolving as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Very good. Maybe we can ask this table over here.
Yeah.
Why don't you, different people have different contributions.
So we are working on scenario 3. It's about Jeddah.
So that they can see you.
Yeah.
Please stand up, yeah.
Yeah, sure. So we're working on scenario 3. It's with Jeddah city. And Jeddah is known to be a circular place where trade centers and traders come to Jeddah to trade. So to influenced by the culture of traders, and also the core idea or the core theme to that hotel would be Gate of Jeddah or Jeddah Gate. So he's mentioning something about, we call it Bawaba, or the gate. So the gate in English is Bawaba.
So you have a name already?
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow.
We're choosing the venue.
And also
We're building
since we are doing this for Gen Z, we don't want to eliminate. So because it's give you a feeling to elimination, so we just give them, instead of eliminate them to the gate, we give them access to that gate. So it's an open space, an open area for them to come to experience the culture, and at the same time, a hub for a business or for joint ventures to have that place to experience the culture, and at the same time to do a business where business and culture are present at the same place. What other things did we mention?
Oh, there's a lot. Why don't you share a bit?
Yeah, just.
You share a bit.
So an idea that we had, instead of having like meeting rooms, we'd have a concept called trade rooms, and that links back to the history of the area. As Ibrahim said, it's a place of trade. And this actually also would support the local community by allowing young Saudis to be able to have pop-ups there in these trade rooms. And then this links to the joint venture part of it, because it allows the people that are coming to not only work and experience the culture, but have conversations about, you know, possible ventures here in the kingdom, mainly Jeddah. So there was also an idea bounced around having a souk. So again, it links to what has been happening in Jeddah for years and years. And what else do we have?
The theme of the view of the sea.
So yes. So the trade rooms will actually follow a theme based on the kind of trade that's happening there. So we had a really cool idea where if one of the trade rooms overlooks the sea, then it would follow, like, you know, the blue colourways. It would be inspired by, you know, boats, fishermen. So we'd have that kind of artwork running through to really immerse them into where they are.
Wow, fantastic.
Hello everyone, I'm sorry I'm not taking too much time. The concept behind this, because we know that Gen Z think differently and they want to benefit from, even if it's vacation, they want to do benefit from these vacations. So we thought also about the digital presence for this brand or logo. So you don't have to be in the property, or you don't have to be there to be part of this trade or community to trade. And so it will foster the business side while you experience the brand itself and the community. Communities from those international joint venture will arise, and just it will be there, and just it will be more international than just the theme, and the design will be authentic, and you can see Jeddah in it, but it will be more international, open to everyone, since Gen Z is just communicate properly, and they don't have boundaries.
So a kind of community beyond the physical space of the hotel.
I already want to go to the place. It's so exciting. This hotel. So I think the sense of place is important. So we spoke a lot about that. We were looking at pictures from Jeddah. I was just there about a week ago and took lots of photos of the old town, architecture, the souks and the bazaars, and all of the spice shops. So we thought maybe we should reflect the feeling of Jeddah into the place itself. So what we're thinking is that, first of all, the common areas will be more communal, so people get together and they talk, and even you don't have separate necessarily like secluded tables for your breakfast. So you can have more communal type tables and people meet and talk. But the souk feeling could also be reflected even in your presentation of the food, because when you have the sacks of spices, maybe those could be kind of instead of the tables where you kind of put the food on, so forth. Now, Jeddah is famous for its architecture and the buildings and what's called the Roshan. So the Roshan is a big thing, which is your kind of your wood windows. So can we reflect that in the fabric of the hotel inside, in terms of the furniture, even into maybe some of the paint, and just the whole feeling of the place you go into a very authentic yet modernized kind of place. So it puts you into the sense of time and culture. Who wants to go?
Thank you.
I just want to add one point. So, in this part, the governmental side, the Ministry of Culture is also renovating or remodeling the whole old town. So it's part of the vision to have a place where the government is supporting the whole vision of the area, so we can be part of it. So it's not only the hotel itself, so the governmental entities are also working to support
collaboration.
yeah.
Really good. Wow, your idea is ready to go.
Thank you.
Just need an investor, and thank you so much. And the last group over here. I think you were also doing the Jeddah lifestyle, so it'd be interesting to see your take on this scenario.
Ours is a little bit different, but we have a Jeddah native at our table, so thank you so much for your local contacts and influence. So we see this hotel, and I don't want to forget about the service residences that were mentioned as well. A few of us on the team here are from Accor on the branded resi side. We see this place as somewhere that is laid back. It is not just for visitors, it's for locals as well. It's a place for community to come together. It's almost like a stage for locals as well to blend with visitors. So a place to connect, a communal environment. So we see some of the spaces being, we see sort of a co-working concept. We see communal tables. We see kind of family style F&B as well. We also had this idea of the barista of the month. So we heard that coffee is quite important in Jeddah, so in terms of local coffee, not the Starbucks, but the good stuff, the local stuff. So this idea of having a showcase for local barista or coffee cultivators to come in and to showcase their talents and bring that local flavor into the space. We also talked about just kind of the daily rituals as well, and whether that is integrating sort of prayer as wellness as a space within sort of the built environment or within the service apartments and the privacy of kind of where you're staying for an extended period. What else did we talk about? We also talked about this, we mentioned coffee, but a creative hub as well for people to come and showcase their talents. We see this being very, we said laid back, but really kind of very, what's the word? Not fussy. Mm-hmm. It's not a really kind of buttoned up luxury. This is really kind of unpacked and feeling of its place. And we actually came up with a name. And that name is Bait, which the hook, no pun intended, to the sea, to fishing, and also that is with
the Arabic word for home.
Yeah. Oh,
so
nice.
Bait, the fishing bait, and bait.
So it has both the English and the Arabic meaning, very nice. Yeah. And we had a few other ideas that we were throwing around, but that is the real gist of this team is going to steal your name. Careful. There's going to be a race to who can.
Now, there's so many lawyers.
And just in terms of the governance management piece, we didn't get too far with that one, but for us it's really all about it being authentic and of its place and also giving back to the local community as well.
Thank you very much. Fantastic. Thank you. Wow, I think we have 3 ready-to-go brands here. It was a fantastic opportunity, I think, for everyone to immerse themselves in these different scenarios and actually see how quickly you can brainstorm a new brand. Obviously, this is just the beginning of a new brand. There's a lot more work, as I'm sure all of you know, to bring this to life and really flesh it out. But I think by using quite a simple model like this, you can bring people together and very quickly form the outline of what that brand's going to be. And it doesn't need to take days or weeks or months to sort of go through it, but just to get that first ideation down is something that can happen quite quickly and very creatively, as we've seen. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming, for your participation, for your enthusiasm. And if you'd like to know anything more about Quo, we have a stand just outside. So thank you so much. Thank you.